Welcome to Sex on the Floor podcast. This podcast was created to help educate the public about problems with sex and intimacy and how this is tied to both physical and mental aspects. Hosted by myself, Dr. Molly Hart, a passionate pelvic floor physical therapist and owner of Pelvic Balance Physical Therapy, and by Dr. Katie Schubert, a phenomenal sex therapist and owner of Cypress Wellness Center. We are here to have a good time. We're here to keep it real with you all and to educate along the way. I'm so excited for you to join us. We strive to help many relationships prosper in fun, safe, and healthy intimacy. While listening to the show, please remember that this information is not meant to diagnose or treat any medical conditions. Please speak with your medical provider for all things related to your healthcare. Hey guys, welcome back to Sex on the Floor podcast. This is Dr. Molly here as one of your hosts
and Dr. Katie Schubert.
And so today, what are we talking about? Super excited that you guys are back. This is our third episode. We're talking
about why sex
very proud of ourselves
feel good for women. I know both of us often see women in our practices.
Two moms trying to make a podcast to educate women.
I'm having sex with my partner, but it just doesn't feel good, and I have no motivation to have sex with them because I get no pleasure out of it. So I think that we need to spend today to talk about
what did we talk about?
Some of the reasons why sex doesn't feel good. And
so in the last episode, Molly and I were talking about
some of the ways
why
that we tackle
sex,
the issues that we're going to be talking about.
So some
today.
of the reasons why sex wouldn't feel good for women.
So first, we're going to have Dr. Katie kind of go through when if you're a female and you're having pain with intercourse,
when they come into our
and
offices.
You decide, okay, I want to.
So today, what we're going to do is build on that and talk more about like the therapeutic interventions.
Reasoning through.
So we talked about the exploration, the questions that we need to ask, and now we're going to talk about.
And it's not.
We get those questions answered.
So sometimes women come in and they say sex would do with those women
to help them get
I'm experiencing
back to a place in
pain
their
when I'm
life
having
where
sex.
they enjoyed sex.
But a lot of women just come in and say, I have sex with my partner.
So with that, what we're going to do
feels
then
like
for
nothing.
this episode
like
is
I don't feel anything. I experience no pleasure. I don't remember the last time I had an orgasm.
What a sex therapist
and I'm only having sex with them
a woman
because they
coming
want
in
to have
and
sex.
is
I
not
have no
good
intrinsic
for her.
motivation.
What are the different treatment strategies?
So when that's
keep
the
this
case,
generalized,
either
so you have an idea of what
the
this type of treatment
sensation
could do for you,
or
and then we'll then talk about it from a pelvic floor physical therapy standpoint. What that type of treatment would look like,
two umbrella reasons why that might happen.
Katie,
so either something's happening on an individual level or something's happening in the relationship.
So
a lot of the questions I asked
a little bit about what I was talking about in our last
narrowing that down to figure out whether or not it's an individual issue or a partner.
When she comes in, I ask a lot of questions.
Individual issues might have
whether or not there's something going on inside of her own body,
history,
if it's an individual issue or if it's a partner-specific
upbringing,
issue.
Maybe being
so the course
incredibly
of
religious, or if her family had negative associations with sex
on whether or not I determined whether or not it's an individual
it could have to do with the ways that she's learned how to communicate about her body.
And there's a lot of overlap in the therapeutic interventions.
She just hasn't had much education.
One of the main things that I would teach her is how to have a good mindfulness practice. And I know Molly hasn't ever been taught about masturbation. You teach mindfulness as well.
So those are some of the questions that I would ask
teach it very different
to figure out
and I think that's good.
what the individual
for people to talk to a lot of different
in regards to either
providers and therapists
a lack of
and get different explanations, different strategies
in terms of it being partner specific.
A different thing better.
A lot of times women
elaborate on what you do because I'm sure it's probably different than what I'm
again she doesn't feel like she can communicate about
so I'm
what's
also a
going on with
registered
her
yoga
body.
teacher and we're taught a whole lot of breathing exercises and mindfulness activities
to touch certain parts of her body when they're being sexually intimate
with the yoga philosophy education
or they could just be in a really unhappy relationship and she doesn't
I would ask
she doesn't
her
have any
to start
motivation to have sex because she's not
not happy in that relationship. Times of her life where she's not.
So I would ask a tremendous amount of questions, try to figure out what camp we're looking at, whether or not it's individual.
I might ask her to
whether or not we can work on it
how the water feels on her hands,
or whether or not we need to focus
where
on
her feet are
planted,
and working on. It's a very non-threatening foundational stuff in a relationship. It's easy to practice mindfulness because a lot of your senses are engaged.
I love that you kind of break it up into that
in the shower. Same thing, right? Notice how the water feels on your skin.
That is really important to distinguish the difference because you can see.
Notice how the soap smells.
I know even like on my side when I see a really supportive relationship and the husband comes in or the partner comes in and
bring that into the bedroom
beautiful
or bring it
into
her masturbatory.
I know that we don't have to worry about that emotional
she's focused on those bodily sensations.
Problem
she's not
being
up
there,
in
it
her
is
head
there, then
worried
I always
or thinking about
you need to go.
What do I have to do tonight before the kids go to sleep, or
not that they
the conversation that she had with
do that, but that's okay. It's small steps that matter.
So teaching mindfulness is super
okay, so I'll talk a little bit about
then
when you come to see a physiotherapist, a pelvic floor physical therapist.
I love that. That's very similar.
And you're having both of what Katie said is you're having either discomfort or lack of sensation.
So important
with intimacy. For me, it's less like if somebody was to call and say, "Hey, I don't really feel motivated to have intercourse," that's not something a physio is going to be treating. I'm going to recommend you to see
that sensation,
Dr. Katie. But if you're saying, "Hey, I have actual pain during sex, or I have little sensation, I used to have sensation, but now postpartum,
we just aren't good.
I'm not really feeling much anymore, and it's like my clitoris is dead." I hear that all the time. My clitoris feels dead
at turning the mind.
And so, of course, I'm going to say, "Yeah, come in, let's do an eval."
Whatever reason,
and so what I'm going through is I'll ask a lot of questions. I also want to know about past trauma. I want to know about sexual abuse.
I love that.
And I also want to even know about medical
mindfulness. And then what are your other treatments?
Some of the women that I'm treating have been in so much discomfort for years.
So
they've actually had a lot of medical trauma.
Our society does
a
not great job.
So I really want to know like
about
what's
their bodies
happening
or
in
about
that
their
area.
Sexual selves.
You're like you had said, the upbringing, religious background, cultural background
about sexuality.
I see that
can
usually
cause shame people.
A lot of women to
so part of my job
it's not even just a psychological thing. We actually will tense our pelvic floor muscles and not allow the man to even enter. And so of course that's going to hurt if I'm tensing everything up. So there's
some
a
women
lot
don't understand what their clitoris does. Some women don't understand that foreplay is necessary for adequate
what I will
lubrication.
typically do when women come in is I go through a screening, and what I'm really looking for is I'm trying to understand the nervous system
about their bodies,
and I'm trying to understand,
especially in regard to
how the entire pelvic region is working as a whole. So let me give an example. I am going to so in the pelvic floor,
and I'm sure there's overlap here too with the two of us.
You've got your bladder in the front.
Teach women about
our vaginal tissues are sandwiched behind that, and then behind that is the rectum. So our vagina is literally between
their partners
the bladder
about what they
and the
like, and
so if we're having
right
pain
words
within
for their anatomy.
More often than not,
some
women
of that
are
might
going to have bladder and bowel issues that they don't even know are related, but they are very much so related because it's all sandwiched right there in that pelvic bowl. So the first thing I ask actually is about the bladder.
Teach each other what.
And so typically a pattern you'll see when women are having pain with intercourse. So this is different from a lack of sensation. Lack of sensation and pain. Very, very different.
I love
of what
because really what you're hitting on is, and I love like that communication part of how do I.
Now I want to know
I
if
don't
they're
hit on
having
that stuff. Not that I don't think it's important.
Having
I don't have the
time to go pee all the time.
So many sessions,
frequently
going so good.
Does the bladder kind of bother you when it starts to fill up? Do you get a lot of women don't know how to pleasure themselves down there as well? And often they're like,
somebody else how to pleasure them. And then even if they
don't know it's tied
they do
to
want,
what's going
on,
how
do we communicate that? So that is really,
and then another thing I'm ruling in and out
amazing. And I love it.
Do they have issues with constipation
get better
or IBS?
Women, like we need
so
to
are we having a hard time actually evacuating our bowels?
I think is pleasurable.
Sometimes that's food related. And so we'll talk about that. But sometimes it's because the pelvic floor is so
that way.
It's just completely contracted. It's way too tight.
Even
it doesn't allow for the relaxation that's needed
for the
bowel to pass through.
A lot of women don't even know what feels good.
And so those things are going to be cues to me of
maybe
we do really have something physiological going on.
Now,
if I do this
getting out of your heads, getting into your body,
nothing going on with the bladder,
pleasure, and
their whole body's healthy.
What that is that makes you feel pleasure.
Their body feels good.
I love that. Okay, great. So that's part of the
no issues with
umbrella.
Digestion,
and I know
the bladder's working great. The bowels are working great.
And then with them, how are you when you educate? Are you now I'm going to really have to rely on my physical exam with them to see what's going on. But I'm now wondering, is this more psychological, and then they have homework to go home and do actually after the session kind of report how things went. Now let's talk about lack of sensation.
And I always, if a woman comes in,
or her
partner comes in and it's clear that they don't have a whole lot of knowledge about this, I always recommend.
It tends to be that, or there is something maybe neurological going on.
It's over there somewhere.
Such as
it's called Come As You Are, and it's an amazing book, and it talks a lot about the psychology of sex,
spinal cord injuries. There can of course be a lack of sensation.
Wow. So if you're looking for additional resources, it's an amazing book that I recommend to most of my clients.
But postpartum is probably the main thing. And there's not pictures and stuff in there. 6 months postpartum, a year postpartum. It doesn't feel the same.
It's really easy to
to
understand.
I'm going to be asking those screening questions. Typically, patterns you're going to see. This is not always
that in my repertoire.
If they're having a lack of sensation,
I always ask my patients, I'm like, are you that they have like a heavy to read? And if they say yes, I will slowly get them reading,
especially with physical activity.
There's something so powerful about them taking the time to read
towards the end of the day.
And
what I just described there, that's reiterated the pelvic organ prolapse symptom, and that's right. So bladder.
You've talked about so far
the rectum kind of mindfulness umbrella, pushing downwards into the vaginal
education umbrella for treatment.
And so all of that,
another umbrella that you had talked to me about, which I think was
pelvic
communication.
So very different than the pain. The pain very often is kind of a really short, tight pelvic floor, to where we now can't get the urine out, we can't get the bowels out. Whereas lack of sensation, more often than not, is a weak,
and it could be about what we just talked about, like
with prolonged activity, we're going to get that heavy pressure sensation as the organs are kind of pressing down and sitting on that tissue because there's a lack of muscle support there for it.
So Molly, and we've both been pregnant.
Her partner, what
when you're 9 months pregnant, you kind of feel that heavy sensation. Is that what you're talking about?
100%. But they feel that after pregnancy.
I need you to be more active.
Sensation, and if they look down, some women can
right during the day. So I'm not exhausted.
What does that look like at the vaginal
exhausted to have sex with you?
You can kind of see some tissue down there if you put your hand in the vaginal tissue.
Things that are either completely not sex related, that become sex related, or things that are actually sex related, like how she likes her clitoris touched.
And then even like with the kids thing, sometimes what is her love language? What is his love language? But it's something we want to get females love language. So what are the love languages?
That then I'm going to be doing the physical exam. I'm going to be checking out the pelvic floor for both sides. And what I want to know, I'm going to go across every single muscle.
There's probably a lot of things we talk about communication.
And so
nothing to do with the bedroom.
The pelvic floor.
Oh my gosh, they always come in about the bedroom, and it never ends up about the bedroom. It always
whatever you want to call it, but it's actually broken up into a bunch of muscles.
How they're
fighting. So when I do an exam on women,
you're
do a pelvic internal exam.
Oh, I love it. So important.
We do not use stirrups like the gynecologist uses. It's very simple.
What do you don't have Molly? So someone comes in, a woman comes in, and
so it's very,
you talked in the last podcast about the things.
Whereas a lot of women who have intercourse or have lack of sensation, you'll go see the gynecologist.
I think you categorize your clients into two main categories.
Stirrups, and they have these speculums that are separated tissues, and it's too much and aggressive. So we're much more gentle as a physical therapist.
So what are some of the things you would do with both?
So we'll go through and
let's go to a woman who has
on every one of those pelvic floor muscles,
and she's got more
some of your hip muscles called your obturator internus.
Typically, this is not always. I'm just going to talk about
by the bladder. Somebody
that's not
don't take
your
basic.
Black and
that's
white.
Not your pelvic floor muscle. Like
when we have a weak muscle,
there are muscles
you're going to see that
it's not like that.
It's elongated, right? So
now I'm feeling the bladder.
And I'm trying to muscle that's really short.
Is there restrictions?
Is going to be,
and when I put pressure there,
even though
it really causes strong sensation, you have to urinate
to get into that.
So these are all things I'm
when we have a baby.
Just imagine things have been stretched out at this point. Then I will test their muscle strength. And so now we've got this kind of like week as physios from 0 to 5. And so a 0 is going to lead. I asked you to do a Kegel or pelvic floor squeeze. And so it's not a sensitivity of too much sensation. And that can happen sometimes after
I don't really feel anything.
Like a bad tear.
Much harder time achieving an orgasm. Maybe they were easily able to have an orgasm before.
Like Katie said,
and now they can't. And that's frustrating for women because they're like, what the heck?
They're not connected to it.
Not only did my body completely change, but now
one is just a flicker.
I can't even sexually
barely anything. A 2
so for women
is
like that,
I feel like it's something along that lines. A 3 is
it's very simple.
I feel a decent contraction.
We are literally just doing
and I can even
training program.
Like put a little bit of pressure.
We need to strengthen your pelvic floor.
You can contract against
when you have a nice, healthy, strong pelvic floor.
You can contract against a lot of pressure, and a 5 if you have a really strong pelvic floor.
More.
Not to be too graphic,
called like proprioception.
My finger will literally like kind of be like
awareness, so you can literally connect and be more mindful. So like mindfulness of a body region. And
so I'm going to go across
also related to what is the nervous system
remember, the pelvic floor is not just one muscle,
and then how are the muscles
areas. And so I want to see,
so if we strength train,
are we getting that contraction on the right tissues
that we're going to bring more blood flow
on the left, because if they've had an injury,
we actually create new blood vessels to the tissue.
Let's say from birthing, maybe part of the pelvic floor is kicking on.
So we're going to bring more blood flow. That helps with lubrication as well,
and so forth.
We're going to now looking at
how
to respond
to pressure.
We're going to increase our sensitivity and awareness, because when we do Kegels,
and then I'll have women push down like they're birthing or
really intense awareness.
And I want to see
where those pelvic more than anybody has ever done before, because most women don't do Kegels, and even if they know how to do one, they're not
causing this discomfort.
They're not very good at it. And here's something that's interesting that I think most people can relate
based upon the subjective.
When you've gone and worked out in the past,
I'll talk to women. I'm like,
so women generally.
This is what I see
going on compared to our lower bodies.
To address.
So if you were to do a bunch of squats.
Yeah, I think it's as you're talking,
as
I'm
your
thinking
quads
about all
are
the
getting
overlap
tired,
between
how do they start to feel
the psychological stuff and the physiological
nothing?
stuff.
Do they feel like burning? Do they feel
we were talking
what
before we started recording,
burning, like spaghetti,
and we both agreed that sometimes it's even hard to determine what comes first, the psychological stuff or the physiological stuff, or if they just came up at the same time.
They feel different.
And I think a lot of postpartum women, this stuff comes up at the same time, because their body has just gone through this huge thing. So is their brain, their hormones, their relationship.
They can deal with more.
They're
body
feeling,
they're
feeling all sorts of ways. So I think with
women
who have just had children, a lot of times the legs, these two things pop up at once. Psychological.
What would you describe it as?
Psychological components.
Oh goodness!
Separate.
Because if
they just tire out,
lack of sensation,
they tire out, and they almost
there are physiological things I always think that are going.
You almost can't connect to it anymore.
And also now is
a lot of women. It's not that it's burning, like your quad's burning. It's like I just can't connect to the muscle anymore.
Like they just want to have like
girls, your quad. I could keep going. I
can
keep doing squats, but it's burning.
My husband told me that I'm looser than I used to be. Like these are things I hear, and they're so
that's the same thing that happens with the pelvic floor.
And so that's it's more like
that's
something
that we really want to talk about, and that's something that you don't feel that burning sensation. Or bounds, you feel practically nothing.
The way
and you have this horrible sense.
And I'm trying to just
so
let's talk about the physiological stuff. And I do get into this emotional
just by being mindfully aware of the muscle and learning how to turn it on, and then start doing these exercises. Most of my women do not do their home program,
and and women or men are not different in this category. Sometimes if we can just build up a little bit of confidence,
even connected to it.
So if we can work on some of the physiological stuff, or if we can work on some of the psychological stuff. Just that
I personally use biofeedback equipment. It's something that's
things
external.
Up right away because
it goes right around the rectal tissue.
I can do this. I can.
And it's almost like
in sex. I can have pleasure during sex.
It's an EMG reading, so it's picking up the recruitment of the muscle. And so I have this computer program, and I literally can see what their muscles are doing. And so I train them how to then do their experience. We do quick ones, we do long holds. Sometimes I'll put patterns on there. I've got this really cute rose that opens up when they're relaxed. Those of you listening, if you're going they're contracting, and if they're doing really well, we get this cute little bird chirping that makes it's like a cheerleader chirping for
these different health
and so we go through this program. Like, hey, I'm having fun when I have exercises because otherwise I don't know what their pelvic floor is doing. I feel something. So that's how I can progress their program. I can't tell you how many of the women I treat lying down being the easiest, sitting is the next hardest, standing's harder. And then from there, if it's a really high level
normal postpartum, don't worry about it. Or like
she wants to be able to
don't just
go running and doing all these things, and she needs her pelvic floor to respond to that as well. And she really wants a great sex life and a great ability to achieve orgasm. Then I get them doing this from your healthcare providers, like
also creates more of a problem. And so
push-ups. And so now I train their whole body. We do a whole body workout routine.
I hear what you're saying.
But I'm teaching them how to incorporate their breath, their core, and their pelvic floor all together with the body.
Yeah.
And so now we're really bringing mindfulness.
I will say, Molly and I are both located in St. Petersburg,
and
Florida.
We're also building this strength.
And we see clients all over this,
so now when we get into the
Bay Area.
you're like, oh my God, and my body was capable of
specializes in what Molly and I specialize in.
So that's kind of like more of a weak pelvic floor. That's what we do. And it's really pretty simple. I only see those women typically 5 times. We only do 5 sessions. They're good to go. We do that over about
not all pelvic floor therapists or physical therapists are trained in pelvic floor.
So that other category,
when you're Google searching therapist, you want to be Google searching
a lot of
specifically a sex therapist and specifically a pelvic
again, these are
floor
patterns we see. These are not black and white rules.
Yeah, that's a great distinction.
Typically, and then let me ask you this, a very short,
Katie, with sex therapists, because I know there's not a lot of there's not a lot of pelvic floor physical therapists.
It's really short. So if this is my bicep, would you say most position? And so something I always do with them, for those of you who are watching,
feel
maybe on
very
video,
confident in their skill level,
is there's something
as
called
far as how they can treat
insufficiency that can happen. And
yeah,
so this
is
we're
all
my muscles here.
Specially trained.
They bend my wrist, and they flex my fingers.
Florida,
so if you make a fist right now, Katie, keep your wrist in neutral.
But in Florida, if you're calling yourself a certified sex therapist,
so now bend your wrist and now
year of postgraduate study.
And how does that feel?
Specifically sex therapy.
It's hard. Does it
so we all come to therapy with a very
so that's what's happening at their pelvic floor. It's so sure that we have a problem, and that's why it's so uncomfortable. So we don't ever want a muscle in the body to be long and weak. But also, if I lengthen this muscle, I also can't make.
Okay, see that's great. So
muscles like to be at this halfway point.
I love
that's when they function the best.
Just so you all know.
And so for those women, I'm not doing a Kegel
when it comes to the physical therapy world.
Worse. So
yes, physical therapy, we get almost
like
no training in school
down there
when it comes to the pelvic
floor.
Why
they get in that state? A lot of times because of stress and anxiety.
Some programs have a little bit more.
And they're holding tension.
If you are,
and so for them, we're doing a lot of tissue work.
Pelvic floor,
and so I'm doing a lot of external tissue work on the lower belly.
Now the difference, though, unfortunately, with the physical therapy world,
floor, and then
is you can call yourself a pelvic floor physical therapist
on the pelvic floor to relax it via
you don't necessarily have to have any training
movement on there.
Nobody
and I teach all of my patients how to do the treatment themselves.
And so what's kind of happened over the past
I'm a huge believer in
pelvic floor physical therapy,
them understanding how to do the treatment themselves, so that way again are learning to connect.
And over the last 5 years, really,
I have this cute little,
very much so.
I call it
high awareness, and so there's
it's a cute little vaginal map
that
I made that teaches them like different areas of the vaginal canal.
Physical therapists who call themselves pelvic floor PT,
really mindfully understand,
and there's
different
even
areas
nurses
of
now.
the vagina.
At gynecology, like at the gyno, they'll have nurses who are doing pelvic floor PT.
It's only the right side at number 3 that
and
I'm
it is
realizing I have
kind of infuriating,
really empowering
because now typically the nurses
they know exactly what areas bother them. It
feels
like
biofeedback
threatening and scary, and they're like,
the programs
my one session
on that area. I'll ask them what they do there,
so it's super.
Yikes, that's
I love that. So that's
really
the
ideal.
That we will.
So if you go to pelvic floor PT, just make sure they have the training behind them. Look at their reviews. Make sure their pictures are. And if they don't have
a lot of anatomy
they're with like a big hub,
I'm teaching them about the entire
select
nervous
physical
system,
therapy.
not just at the pelvic floor.
Make sure
nervous
that the pelvic floor PT there.
The central nervous system, the brain, and the spinal cord,
that they have the
how that works,
how the skill level
nervous system, everything.
And the only reason why I say this is because if they don't
connect with each other,
you can think that you had pelvic floor PT
the tissue work
and failed it, when in all reality, we actually as a medical community
more
kind of
than
failed
muscles
is the way that I look at it. It also can be very traumatizing. I've had patients who,
for those listening,
go to therapists who aren't necessarily
pelvic pain hurts
as skilled as they should be, and they leave feeling very violated and traumatized. And that's just going to make the problem even more compounded and worse.
Neuroscientists.
So
in the world,
don't be worried about it. My advice is just
not pelvic pain, but persistent.
When you type it into Google, like
and
Katie
so
was saying, you type in sex therapist
pelvic PT
for pelvic floor physical therapy.
So easy to read.
Pelvic floor physical therapy, but then secondarily,
and so all my patients get that book.
They have that's like their first homework assignment. They have to read that book, and then you're good to go.
That way, when they come in to work with me,
on the right track.
We are on the same
whatever it is
communication wise, and they're understanding what I'm saying. So tissue work.
There's we spent today talking about some of
I do a lot of food education because a lot of people do not understand. Most people who have pelvic pain
in like the first
are also having a lot of GI issues. And they
in the next talk
don't
that we
fully
do,
understand how the food that they're eating like is causing inflammation and the nervous system to be very upset and mad. And so if my nervous system is upset and mad,
I'm excited
about
GI next episode
why does sex not feel good for her? Intimate if I don't feel good?
About the different things that Dr.
We talk a lot about food. I use something called the Walls protocol. If you guys have any questions at all, Terry Walls, please feel free to contact us with the information listed below on the podcast. She is so inspiring to answer your questions. So I use her whole protocol with all of my patients. Katie, do you do stuff online based upon each individual?
I'm on Instagram.
That's a huge part of the care, so they can understand how to decrease inflammation. Like, if let's pretend I was in a different state, could I work the mitochondria? Which
so unfortunately,
so how do we get energy? Because I don't want to be intimate if I'm also feeling tired all the time.
Okay, so
right? I know your patients,
Florida, which means that I can work with anybody who's in
tired all the time.
I'm virtual, so
I'm like, well, that's going to continue to happen if you're not exercising and you're not eating well.
Only so long as you're in Florida.
We got to address that. Gotcha. And so it's the same with physical therapy. So that's if you're in a different state, because I work with women the last part really in other states and other countries. So all of my patients we are doing a walking pelvic floor physical therapy, and then I get them into an exercise program when I feel it's a little bit different. Typically, of course, I'm not going to be around like week 4 and so forth, but just kind of giving you I've got guidance, a beginner routine, a moderate routine, and an feel the need if you're in a different state, a different country, and you have questions. Still reach out because I would be happy to make sure that the body is kind of point you in trained as well appropriately. Okay, so we don't make. All right, guys, we will see you at the next podcast episode. Bye. And I know you already know this, when we walk. Hey guys, welcome back to Sex on the Floor podcast. And Dr. Molly Hart here. For combating
and Dr. Katie Schubert.
Depression, for combating. So today, what are we talking about, Katie? But when we're tired, we don't want to do anything.
We're talking about why sex doesn't feel good for women.
I think it's important that both of us when you're struggling with this as a female, you do need to come in and see a therapist because you need that accountability.
I'm having sex with my partner, but it just doesn't feel good, and I have no motivation to have sex with them because I get no pleasure from it.
And so that's
I think that we need to spend
a big
today
purpose behind it, and then just to organize all of these
some of the reasons why sex doesn't feel
I have
good.
A goal sheet with them,
and then in the upcoming
folder with all the stuff that we go over.
Some of the ways that we tackle
all of their very specific individualized goals on there, and I have it written out for the next 10 weeks. So first, we're gonna have Dr. Katie every time they kind of go through when if you're a female and you're having pain with intercourse, how's the walking going, and you decide, okay, I want to work on how is go to and whatever things that we need to be working on. Dr. Katie's going to talk about kind of what she's reasoning through to figure out what potentially might be in a very positive, supporting way.
Yeah, and it's not only
and I'm like, you got to be doing this. We're not going to get results. And they say sex
actually hurts.
So that's
I'm experiencing
the 2 different
pain when I'm having
strategies
sex.
That would happen.
But a lot of women just come in and say, I have sex with my partner. It feels like nothing. Like I don't feel anything. So I experience no pleasure. I don't remember the last time I had an orgasm.
Is that
and I'm only having sex with them because they want to have sex. I have no intrinsic motivation for having sex with them.
There are
so when that's the case, either the lack of sensation or the physical pain, there are usually two main reasons, two umbrella reasons why that might happen.
Depending on what your
so either something's happening on an individual level or something's happening in the relationship.
Yeah.
So a lot of the questions I asked from the very beginning have to do with narrowing that down to figure out whether or not it's an individual issue or a partner-specific
is when there's a lot of partner-related issues.
Individual issues might have things to do with for me as a therapist, trauma in her history. It could have to do with her upbringing, maybe being incredibly religious, or if her family had negative associations with sex, and that's what she was taught growing up.
It has to be the decision of
the couple. It could have to do with the ways that she's learned how to communicate about her body, or it could be that
whatever reason
she just hasn't had much education about her body, where her clitoris is, what her clitoris does, what she likes.
With it being
she hasn't ever been taught about masturbation.
Something that we need to work on.
So those are some of the questions that I would ask.
A lot of times when I figure out what the individual
under the impression that you only go to in regards to either pain or a lack of sensation.
As a last resort option,
in terms of it being partner specific, or getting a lot of times women are
it's just
in
so not
relationships
because you don't have to be in a relationship
feel like she can communicate about what's going on with her body.
If you're newlyweds,
she's embarrassed to talk about her clitoris.
What you want it to be.
She's embarrassed to ask her partner to touch certain parts of her body when they're being sexually
intimate. Go on and have a good relationship.
Or they could just be in a really unhappy relationship.
There's no reason to be.
She doesn't have any motivation to have sex because
she's not happy in that relationship. There are specialists.
So I would ask a tremendous amount of questions to try to figure out what camp we're looking at, whether or not it's individual, whether or not we can work on it individually, or whether or not we need to focus on couples therapy
more on top of it. They have sexual health
the more foundational stuff in a relationship.
But women, we struggle with giving ourselves kind of break it up into that individual versus yes, we do deserve to spend money on ourselves, and that is really important to distinguish the difference, because you can see if that is you, if that's a barrier. I know even like on my side, when I see a really supportive relationship and the husband comes in, or the partner comes in, and that belief pattern, beautiful supportive relationship, that being a barrier, because I know that we don't have to worry about that emotional intimacy fulfilled in our problem being there. Because if it is there, then I always am recommending you need to go. So don't be afraid. Couples counseling, commit to yourself and therapist, so the care that you deserve. Not that they always do that, but that's okay. I think, Molly, it's small steps that matter.
Talking about men.
So okay, so I'll talk a little bit about then when you come to see a physiotherapist, a pelvic floor physical therapist, and you're having both of like what Katie said is you're having either discomfort or lack of sensation
with men who come into our office.
Intimacy. For me, it's less like if somebody was to call and say, hey, I don't really feel motivated to have intercourse, that's not something a physio is going to be treating. I'm going to recommend you to see Dr. Katie. But if you're saying, hey, I have actual pain during sex, or I have little sensation. I used to have sensation, but now postpartum, I'm not really feeling much anymore. And it's like my clitoris is dead. I hear that all the time. My clitoris feels dead.
I cannot wait. How many years have you been working? I'm going to say,
come in, let's do an eval. And so what I'm going through is I'm excited to learn questions.
To be honest with you,
I also want to know about past trauma. I want to know about sexual abuse.
A lot of
and I also want to even know about medical abuse. I feel like as some of the women that I'm treating have been in so much discomfort for years
in this area.
They've actually had a lot of medical trauma.
Super excited
when it comes to the pelvic.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
I really want to know what's happening in that area.
Some really insightful,
like you had said, Katie, the upbringing, religious background, cultural background.
Podcast episode.
I see that can cause.
We are Dr. Molly Hart and Dr. Katie Schubert, and you've been listening to Sex on the Floor podcast. We really hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions and want to get in contact with us, you can follow us on Instagram at Dr. Molly Hart and at Dr. Katie Schubert, on Facebook at Pelvic Balance PT and at Dr. Katie Schubert. And for more information about us on our websites, you can find us at pelvicbalancept.com and at drkatieschubert.com.